The Galactic Council's High Academy stood as a monument to peace, its crystalline spires reaching toward the stars like fingers grasping for understanding. For 3,000 cycles, it had trained the finest diplomatic minds from across 700 species. Grace Martinez stood in its grand amphitheater, the only human among a sea of alien dignitaries, and felt utterly alone. Representative Martinez, the Valkyrie ambassador, hissed, his serpentine body coiling with barely contained contempt. Your species petitions for full council membership, yet you bring no warriors to our training grounds, no fleet demonstrations, no tactical displays. The Academy asks, which humans are trained for council service? Grace's jaw tightened. 6 months she'd spent here, enduring their condescension, their lectures on human inadequacy. Earth was young, they said. Humans were impulsive, emotional, dangerous. They needed centuries more observation before membership could be considered. She thought of Liam, her partner back on the human delegation ship, monitoring this session from orbit. She could almost hear his voice in her head. Don't let them get to you. Grace, show them what humanity really means, Ambassador Grace began, her voice steady despite the tremor of rage building in her chest. We have sent scientists, artists, philosophers, engineers. Soft vocations interrupted the Chromoth delegate, his rocky carapace grinding as he shifted. Where are your generals, your fleet commanders? Every species that joins this council must demonstrate military capability. How else do we know you can defend our collective interests? You misunderstand our nature, Grace said quietly. Enlighten us then, the Valkyrie ambassador sneered. Tell us about human nature. Grace closed her eyes for a moment, gathering herself. When she opened them, something had changed in her expressions, something that made the nearest delegates unconsciously lean back. You want to know about trained humans? Grace's voice dropped to barely above a whisper, but in the acoustically perfect chamber, every word carried. You should pray none are angry. Confused murmurs rippled through the assembly. The Valkyrie ambassador's tongue flickered in amusement. Is that a threat, Representative? No, Grace said. It's a warning you're too young as a spacefaring species to understand. She activated her wrist display, projecting a hologram that filled the center of the amphitheater. Earth rotated slowly, blue and green and beautiful. Every human on my world is trained, Grace continued, not by academies or military complexes, but by 4 billion years of evolution on a death world you wouldn't survive a day on. The hologram shifted, showing Earth's megafauna. Our ancestors were prey, hunted by creatures with fangs like daggers, claws like blades, venom that could drop a creature 3 times our size. We had no shells, no natural weapons, no armor. We were soft, slow, weak. Then how did you survive? Asked a Threnody delegate, genuinely curious. We got angry, Grace said simply, and we learned that anger, channeled properly, is the most powerful force in the universe. The hologram changed again, showing ancient humans with spears. When the great cats hunted us, we hunted them back. When they ran faster, we tracked them further. When they killed one of us, we killed all of them. We didn't just defend ourselves, we eliminated the threat. Permanently. The chamber had gone silent. You ask which humans are trained. Let me tell you about training. Grace's voice grew harder. Every human child is trained to fall down and stand back up, to fail and try again, to feel pain and push through it. We don't have pain-dampening biology like the We don't have regenerative carapaces like the Chromoth. When we hurt, we feel at hand, we keep going anyway. She pulled up another image, a hospital, a surgery room. We cut into our own bodies to heal them. We poison ourselves to kill diseases. We break our bones and reset them stronger. Every human carries scars, physical, emotional, psychological, and we wear them as proof that we survived what should have killed us. The Valkyrie ambassador's scales had paled slightly. This is ... barbaric. No, Liam's voice suddenly cut through the chamber. Grace looked up to see him standing at the entrance, having transported down without permission. His uniform was rumpled, his jaw set in that expression she knew too well. He was angry. This is human, Liam said, walking down the central aisle. His boots echoed like thunder in the silence. You want barbaric? Let me tell you what happens when you make a human angry. Grace reached out to stop him, but Liam was already pulling up his own holoprojection classified files from Earth's military history. We fought wars that killed millions of our own species, Liam said, his voice like gravel. Not over resources or territory, over ideas. Over what we believed was right. We split the atom and turned it into a weapon that could glass entire continents. We engineered diseases that could wipe out populations. We built machines that could think and reason and kill without mercy. And you believe this qualifies you for council membership? The Chromoth delegate asked, horrified. No, Grace interjected. Stepping beside Liam, their hands found each other, fingers intertwining, a gesture of unity that made several delegates shift uncomfortably. What qualifies us is what we did next. The hologram shifted to show the Treaty of New Geneva, the Weapon Prohibition Accords, the Global Unity Charter. We got angry at ourselves, Grace continued, angry enough to change. We looked at what we'd become and said never again. We took all that rage, all that capacity for destruction, and we channeled it into creation. We cleaned our poisoned world. We reached for the stars, not to conquer, but to explore. We met other species not to dominate, but to understand. Every human is trained, Liam added, his voice softening, trained by surviving on a world that tried to kill us every day, trained by learning to control the rage that kept us alive, trained by choosing, every single day, to be better than our worst instincts. Grace squeezed his hand, finding strength in his presence. You ask which humans are trained, all of us. Every single one, and you should pray to whatever gods you believe in that we stay calm, that we stay rational, that we keep choosing peace. Because, Liam finished, his eyes scanning the assembly with an intensity that made even the largest delegates look away. If humanity ever gets truly angry again, if we ever let loose that evolutionary fury we've spent 10,000 years learning to control, there isn't a force in this galaxy that could stop us. The chamber remained silent for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, the ancient Jothic observer, a species that had remained neutral for millennia, spoke from her hovering platform. The young species do not understand, she said, her voice like wind through crystals. But we old ones remember. We remember the Kreth Imperium, who conquered 17 sectors through pure aggression. We remember what happened when they enslaved a human colony world. Grace and Liam exchanged glances. That incident was classified, buried in historical archives. The humans asked for their people back, the Jothic continued. Asked politely, through proper diplomatic channels. The Kreth refused. So the humans stopped asking. The hologram shifted without Grace's input. The Jothic had override codes showing images of the Kreth homeworld, empty, intact, but empty. They didn't destroy the world, the ancient observer said. They simply removed the Kreth from it, every single one, in one planetary rotation. No one knows how, no one dared ask. The Kreth Empire collapsed without firing a shot in defense. That's impossible, the Valkyrie ambassador whispered. That's humanity, the Jothic corrected. They showed mercy by not annihilating an entire species. They showed restraint by leaving the infrastructure intact. They showed their true nature by returning all the human colonists unharmed and never speaking of it again. She turned her multifaceted eyes toward Grace and Liam. I vote for full council membership, not because I believe humanity is peaceful, I know they are not, but because I know they choose to be, and that choice, made every day by every human, is worth more than any treaty or fleet demonstration. One by one, the other delegates began activating their voting crystals. Green lights filled the amphitheater. Grace felt tears on her cheeks. Liam pulled her into an embrace, his own eyes wet. Did she just tell them about Operation Nightfall? He whispered. Apparently, Grace murmured back. Remind me to thank the Jothic later. Or maybe, Liam said with a slight smile, just let them keep believing we're scarier than we actually are. Grace laughed despite herself. Are we, though, scarier than we actually are? Liam's smile faded slightly as he looked at the assembled aliens, some afraid, some awed, or watching the two humans at the center of their amphitheater. I don't know, he admitted, but I hope we never have to find out. The vote concluded. Unanimous approval. Humanity was now a full member of the Galactic Council. As they left the amphitheater together, Grace and Liam walked past the Valkyrie ambassador, who pressed himself against the wall to let them pass. Welcome to the council, representatives, he said, his voice lacking its earlier contempt. Thank you, Ambassador, Grace replied with genuine warmth. We look forward to working with you. As they boarded their shuttle, Liam looked back at the Academy's spires one last time. Do you think they understand now? He asked. Grace considered the question. They understand that we can be dangerous. That's a start. And the rest, Grace said, taking his hand again. We show them one day at a time. We show them tea.